We are back at
Hello.
the Witches Roundtable, and today we're talking about Imbolc, that quiet turning around February 1st or 2nd. So we're actually recording a little bit after Valentine's Day.
Right.
So.
This year it landed on February 2nd, and it's not a holiday that people are really aware of. That
In the Northern Hemisphere, by the way.
Northern Hemisphere, correct. And honestly, I need to read up on where the Valentine's Day origins come from, but I honestly would want to put more energy into February 2nd, into that middle between Winter Solstice and the start of spring, right?
Yeah. So just as a little recap for those who might not know and who are watching this Witches Roundtable as their first, this is a little mini-series that we do within our Book Witches podcast, and we focus on the Wiccan sabbats, or not necessarily Wiccan. I mean, that's my practice, and I don't know if Inez would label hers as that, but...
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we both practice Wiccanism, but from lately I'm going into Druidism. But it's kind of all similar. I mean, all of these religions kind of celebrate the same thing, to be honest.
Pagan. I think it's a good backdrop of the different, not just the books that we review, but just what's going on in the earth at this time, and being mindful of the changing of the seasons, and just teaching our listeners about what's happening in the earth and as the tides turn.
Right. And also, as an environmentalist, I like to point out, how are we seeing the seasons change? Reflect from what happened last year. Where did the last fall or the last snow, the freezing end, or when did the first freezing start, and stuff like that, to reflect. Every Sabbat is a time of reflection of that year and what's previous, right?
And they all correspond to modern holidays that are Christian or, westernized, that you all know. So it's really cool to get down to the roots, I think, and understand that most of the traditions that you are participating in, if you are Christian or, part of one of the Abrahamic religions, are likely coming from these pagan roots. So we're also showing respect and honor to our ancestors who practiced these beliefs and these practices.
So, Alex, what is Imbolc? What are we celebrating today?
Yeah.
I mean, with us today, right now. Whenever you're watching.
Right now. Yeah. So, traditionally, Imbolc is a Celtic fire festival, and it's associated with the goddess Brigid, who is a Celtic goddess. So she's the goddess of poetry, healing, fertility, and the forge.
And it's a powerful mix. I mean, creative, practical, gentle, strong.
And the word Imbolc itself actually translates as in the belly. So something is forming, something not visible yet. It's known in some places as the Festival of Lights. So we're celebrating, winter is still here, it's still happening, but we are starting to see the light coming through, and we can see the light at the end of the tunnel to where spring is waiting for us.
Right. It's the beginning of spring, but, I mean, there's snow on the ground where I am right now, and it's nothing really started, but things are melting. It's getting up into the 30s and 40s now on the East Coast.
You know what? Here in LA, it's been raining cats and dogs, so it's our version of winter. I brought a book to share with all of you. It's part of the Llewellyn Sabbat Essentials. I love these little books because they're very useful. They have a chapter on the old ways, the old traditions, a chapter on the new ways, and then there's corresponding recipes, prayers, even spells if you are into that and want to honor the holiday and the season that way. So ritual is something that I think is really important in our lives, because I think that it truly gives meaning and purpose to our lives, and it's something that we can share within our families, and if you have children or want to have children, something that you can pass on to the new generations. And what I love about paganism, and I know that Inez agrees with me on this, is that it really honors the earth more. There's more of a focus on the earth itself and what's happening in our seasons. And we've become so closed off from the environment and from the earth itself because we live inside.
Right.
We don't, most of us, you know, I mean, I'm sure there's obviously still people who live off of the land, but in the modern world, we live in very sterile indoor environments with, especially now with all our technology.
I know. I mean, I'm in suburban hills, so I really got to make an effort to like connect with the earth. And I think a lot of people need to make that effort, and it's hard.
Yeah, I think when it used to be just a natural part of your everyday life, just like an automatic thing, it was a lot simpler. But now it has to be more of a conscious decision to get out there and connect and reflect and notice.
Yeah.
And it's really good for the human brain. Just if we're not talking about any kind of spiritual beliefs.
Biologically, yeah.
Yes. Research shows us how beneficial it is to our human brains just to stand outside and to listen to the sounds of nature and to look at plants and animals and trees. And so
the melting of the snow.
Yeah, just taking a moment and finding gratitude even if you are a person who gets maybe seasonally depressed in the winter. I know I'm from Chicago and I used to live in the Midwest. I would get very seasonally depressed with the skies are gray, the branches against the backdrop of the gray sky, and it's freezing, it's dark.
I'm feeling that low key. And so I'm like holding on to like, okay, the start of spring, like, let's go. When am I going to see it?
Yeah. And so, yeah, these are actually, I think, celebrating these Sabbats are a good way to drop that anchor for each of us to honor that and to help us also feel better. So, okay. I'm going to do a little reading just about like the traditions and history of Imbolc and what it really means from the perspective of the old ways. So what our ancestors used to do and believe. So the dark days of winter seem to have gone on forever. The first sign of spring refreshes our souls. It is a promise that winter will not last forever and that warm and fertile days will come again soon. Even through snow, the daffodils will push their heads up with a startling flash of green and yellow against the otherwise unbroken glare of winter's white. While you can still see your breath like steam in the chilled air, the first taste of fresh milk means that new life will soon be born. Weary from winter's dark, it also means that the soul will soon be reborn in the growing warmth of the sun. There yet may be snow on the ground, but there are new plants sprouting just beneath that protective layer. As bears awaken from their winter slumber, so too does the earth, and life everywhere reawakens. And so that idea of the first milk, which is a really big theme of Imbolc, that's why during Imbolc we eat dishes that are very dairy or cream centered to represent that first milk that's happening around this time. Some animals may have already given birth to their first young, especially sheep or cows. So,
and it's like also this idea of we honor the mother and she gives birth to the sun, right? So now the sun is the days are getting longer and we're getting warmer. That birthing.
Yeah, so
aspect.
in Wicca we don't only worship or celebrate a god, we celebrate the god and the goddess, the duality of both, which exist in each of us.
Right.
And so as Inez mentioned, yes, the goddess gives birth to the god. And so that's also that idea of the first milk. And so there's just one more thing that I wanted to mention. So what winter meant to the ancients. Although we all experience winter to some extent, regardless of where we live, the way modern civilizations deal with winter makes it a bit more difficult to understand just how important a milestone Imbolc was to many of our ancestors. Although it is true that Imbolc as a Sabbat grew from the celebration of the first milk from the pregnant ewes in the hinterlands of Ireland, Scotland, and other parts of Europe, this Sabbat is surprisingly relevant to us today as we stay in our safe, warm, climate-controlled homes and automobiles, regardless of how savagely the winter rages outside of our doors. And also, we are recording on the first day of the Lunar New Year.
Yes, new moon, happy Lunar New Year, everyone.
Happy Lunar New Year. And there's a little, okay, this is the last excerpt I promise I'll read right now. Because what Inez mentioned, this book is great because it actually has little excerpts from all different parts of the world. So there's a Native American excerpt, there's Roman, there's Egyptian, and Asia. So let me just quickly, just because it is Lunar New Year.
Yeah.
Although we call it Chinese New Year, this is actually an ancient celebration welcoming spring, marking the start of a new year, very much like Imbolc. The date of Chinese New Year is based on the very old Chinese lunar calendar, so the date can vary anywhere from January 21st to February 19th, as it is the second new moon after the Winter Solstice. And excuse my pronunciation, but I will do my best. Chunjie, or Chunji, literally Spring Festival, as it is called in Mandarin Chinese, is actually a 2-week-long festival to usher in the new year, beginning with New Year's Eve, the last night of the last month in the Chinese Lunar New Year, and ending with the Lantern Festival, which occurs on the 15th day of the first month. Imbolc almost always falls on one of those celebration days. So it's really fascinating that there's all these parallels around the world.
Right. It's like we're just humans and we're noticing the ways of the wheel of the earth, and we're all just celebrating the same thing with new titles, you know?
What I love about Imbolc in general is how it frames Imbolc as a quiet emergence. Mm-hmm. So it's not fireworks, it's just this idea of warmth beginning to return.
Yeah.
Right?
It's almost a permission, like, not to rush, to, like,
yes.
It's like the book is saying it's okay that nothing looks different yet. Like, it's still winter, it's okay. Take your time, but get ready.
And, I'll just mention this last thing, because what's great about the Llewellyn book is that we have correspondences for Imbolc. They have a little chapter in the back. So if you want to celebrate, and that's the great thing, is that you can choose how intensely you want to celebrate, how ritualistic you want to be. Maybe you just want to light a candle and take a moment to be grateful for it starting to become warmer. That's perfect. That's great. But maybe you want to go all out and decorate your whole house and have an altar, and that's beautiful too. So for those of you who maybe want to do either or, let me just share. So first we have our spiritual focus and keywords: beginnings, preparation, patience, awakening, newness and renewal, innocence, change, emergence from sleep or hibernation, cleansing, fertility, and transition. So those are the keywords. And so this is a perfect time to focus on cleansing the house, spring cleaning.
So yes. I know for the Lunar New Year, it's traditional to clean beforehand. Like, get all your errands, your cleaning done right beforehand. But on the day, like today, don't clean. Like, today is to focus on you and like the joy of being alive, and not like worrying so much on like how clean your space is or whatever like that. Just a note.
Very cool. I don't know as much about Lunar New Year except from living in Los Angeles and seeing all the wonderful decorations and everyone who celebrates this awesome holiday. And actually, it's really cool. My son is in preschool right now, and they got to make Lunar New Year lanterns last week. Cute. So I think that was really cute. And it is Year of the Horse.
Okay. Nice.
Which That's my dad, and I have a baby on the way this year, so I will have a little fire horse.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
My dad is a wood horse, I believe, so a little bit different. Yeah, I find it really cool and interesting how all of the Chinese zodiac signs also have like an element, depending on the year attached to them, so it kind of shifts some of the qualities a bit.
I think I'm like either like a fire or a wood ox.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were an ox. Yeah. I am an earth snake.
Oh.
So I have my little guy there.
Really, I know lunar new year like tertiary. I mean, I grew up in high school. Like most of my friends were Chinese or Japanese.
So are you Chinese or Japanese?
And and they celebrated, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And I would
so interesting.
Yeah, I would celebrate it with them, but then I wouldn't really go into it. I just know it tertiary.
Right. It's a really cool holiday. I know there are very special treats that you get to enjoy today, and dishes, and
wear red.
If you are listening, yes, red. If you are celebrating, please feel free to educate us as well on some of these wonderful traditions. So I'm going to shout out some of the deities that are kind of, the deities of this time. So we mentioned Brigid. She is the main goddess of Imbolc, so she's an Irish or Celtic goddess. We also have Aphrodite or Venus. And so, like Inez, we're right around Valentine's Day, around this time. You okay? Was that it?
It works.
It's there. So that's the Greco-Roman. We have Athena for the Greek. We have Danu for Irish. We have Gaia for Greek. We have Juno, Roman. Salu, Cherokee. Very interesting. And I'm going to butcher this. Arianrod, which is Welsh. I'm sure I said that incorrectly, so I apologize for that. Diana for Etruscan or Roman. And we have Artio, which is Swiss. And then we have Inanna, which is West African. So those are the goddesses. If we're looking at the gods, because once again, let's remember that duality, it's important to bring in both qualities. We have Cupid for Roman. Kind of fits in once again with our Valentine's Day theme. We have Eros, Greek. Once again, Dumuzi, Sumerian. Oh, and these Irish names, they kill me. And we found out, by the way, that Inez is an Irish princess, so her ancestors are rolling in her graves, their graves right now as I read this. Diane, this is so, Diane Kecht.
Should put it up to the camera.
Sorry, guys. Can you see it? It's spelled, Dian space Cecht.
Yeah, Kecht. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, ancestors.
Apologies. And Bragi or Bragi, Norse. Once again, sorry about that.
Similar to Brigid.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And Februus, Roman, so February. Yeah. And so if you are someone who likes to decorate, I know I do, and you want to incorporate the colors of the season or the Sabbat, we're looking at white, pink and light pink, and light green. So for white symbolizes cleansing, peace, protection, healing, truth. Pink symbolizes harmony, tenderness, affection, love, spiritual healing. Light green is for abundance and fertility, health, new beginnings. And there's also a little bit of yellow, which is common. I usually stick to like pink and white myself.
And the light green kind of symbolizes like the little bits of green coming through.
Yeah, exactly.
The snow, if you have it.
And so herbs, so these are common to use in cooking or if you like to diffuse oils, essential oils. We have angelica, we have basil, blackberry, cinnamon, reed, and wormwood. There's also trees that are symbolic of this time: blackthorn, cedar, rowan, and sycamore. If you want to decorate with flowers, the two main flowers that are popular for Imbolc are crocuses and daffodils, which makes sense. The crocuses are the ones that, in Polish we call them przebij śniegi, because which literally means they go through the snow. They're like,
They just poke out.
They just poke out. It's a really great image. And so for crystals and stones, we love us some crystals.
Yes.
We have amethyst and turquoise as the main ones. Ooh. And then I will mention some animals as well. If you have little figurines that you like to put on your altars or just want to have their images represented, we have cows. So we mentioned those are the first milk idea. Mm-hmm. Dragon, which actually fits into the Lunar New Year, I feel.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, it says the dragon, it represents balance, challenges, courage, creativity, dignity, enlightenment, wisdom, and power.
Oh, yeah. You need that for the beginning of the year, yeah.
Yeah, and it says it's closely tied to this time of the year and to the goddess Brigid herself. So very interesting. The Groundhog Day is around this, I think it's February 8th.
Literally, that is what your pagan... we celebrate Groundhog Day, like, legit.
Yeah, there you go. The lark, the robin, the sheep, the snake, and the swan. I mean, we can go on and on, but like for foods and drinks, like we mentioned, definitely cheese, milk, all dairy products, butter, dried fruits are very popular, potatoes, cornmeal, grains, pickled or canned foods, because we're kind of celebrating, the things are still preserved.
Yeah, during the winter.
Yeah, our ancestors used to definitely preserve foods during, even much earlier to help get them through the cold.
Oh, yeah, starting in like fall, they would start, yeah.
Eggs are a big one as well, because, symbolizing that kind of new life.
Yeah.
And if you want to do some activities, doing arts and crafts, I think, is a really fun part of celebrating the Sabbats. And so one of the ways that you can do that is either making a corn dolly, so literally a little doll made of like corn husks, or something that's called Brigid's Cross. And I'll show a picture of that, because you wrap it around
like 2 popsicle sticks, and you kind of wrap it around. It's almost like an eye. No.
Yeah, and you might not know necessarily the name Brigid's Cross, but you might have seen this image. So let me just show you.
Oh, yeah.
Making fortune cookies. I know fortune cookies are more of an American thing, and, they're not actually Chinese, but... candle making and blessing. That was something that is I've done in the past. You bless the candles that you're going to use for the whole year during Imbolc.
Oh, nice.
So you can anoint them with oil and just say like a little prayer or set an intention for them. Right. The blessing of animals.
Oh, yeah. I celebrated that when I was at the ranch, yeah. LA does it where it's like you bring all of your animals. People bring their horses, their goats, sometimes like a cow, their pigs. People bring like their pets. Everyone's carrying their little like chihuahua up there. And like,
oh my gosh,
in downtown LA in like Alvera Street, and they like bless their animals. Really? Literally, yeah. It's like a whole parade.
Okay, that's adorable. I didn't know that we did that.
Yeah, I didn't really have any animals to bless, but since I was on a ranch and they bring their goats to get blessed, that's how I just celebrated it that one time. But
I'm looking up because I kind of want to grab my cat to like be like, I don't want to wake her up.
No. Another activity too, I like to I like to make my own decorations, and for Yule I'll like make paper snowflakes and like hang them up, and then for Imbolc you can burn them, like write a little wish on them in the lines and then burn them for Imbolc. Fun thing to do. And also I've been seeing a lot of popular activities too is people are getting snow water for like their altar, or like to bless their stones too, right?
That's really cool.
I need to get that quick before the snow melts. But
yeah, because sometimes people do, I mean, maybe everyone does. Well, I don't want to assume everyone, but they do like moon water. So like if there's a full moon, they, charge their water overnight and then they use that for blessing and different rituals.
Right. So like full moon snow water. Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a good shout out. And also, if you maybe don't want to do, or if you're not a crafty person, you're like, I don't really care about that, but you want to do acts of service, I have a couple to name here.
Oh, yeah.
Clearing snow or ice from public walkways. So if you have snow where you are, that's a really nice way to show that you care for your community, especially the super young and the older folks who might need that support.
Yeah. Or if you
I have fallen quite a few times and bruised my frickin' tailbone back in the day.
Even if you got a snowmobile, I think you gotta help out. The neighbor has
Wisconsin.
Well,
really?
No, the neighbor over here has like a little snowmobile. He helped like pave the driveway and stuff. It was really sweet, and he did it for like all up and down the street. He did it all day.
Yeah, like where my parents lived, there were a few people. They had like the pickup trucks with the snow shovel like attached to the front. They would come and do everybody's driveway because they wouldn't always, the city or whoever wouldn't always make it out there. So
right, I know.
It's really sweet.
This past storm, people were locked in for like a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's been a brutal winter, I know, in a lot of parts of the U.S. So we need that help from people who are able. Another act of service is gathering blankets for the needy. If you are a knitter or a crocheter like Inez, I've retired because my hands are not good, like carpal tunnel, but you can either make them or donate them, collect them and then donate them to people who may need them. And the last one I'll mention is clear and prepare a community garden or flower bed for planting. Or even cleaning the home of a physically limited person.
Right.
So.
Especially like the garden, because this is the time where you prep your seeds. You check out your inventory, you prep the seeds, you propagate. I want to start propagating. I'm trying to do some giant sequoia trees and propagate them. But you start them now because they need to be like winterized. So you start them, but they need to be frozen for like a couple weeks, like just in the cold before you put them into the dirt. And so this is the time where you start that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Right.
I do not have a green thumb. I tried during COVID and it was successful for a couple weeks, and then all the grasshoppers and critters came and ate my whole garden, and I got mad and I was like, I give up. So
that means you had such a great garden though, that all the people don't understand that like when you create a garden, you're sharing. Like you're automatically sharing. If you have a good garden, the animals, the critters are gonna come eat it too because they're like, this is good.
I know there are natural ways I know to prevent or maybe turn away some of those critters. Like I know like planting marigolds around the perimeter of your garden is one way, or mint. But mint can be invasive, so not everyone.
Oh yeah, not in the ground. Or rosemary, or even like basil has a pungent smell to deter insects too.
Yeah. So those are our little planting tips for y'all. Do you want to talk about the soft launch energy of Imbolc?
Let's talk about what Imbolc really is. Okay?
Yeah, what it actually really is. It's soft launch season.
It's beta testing for your next chapter.
That's right. It's typing the first sentence in a new document and not showing anyone. We're joking around a little bit, but it's Imbolc in general, it's just noticing what's stirring. So that idea of gestation, any people like me are pregnant, you are, feeling that whole process of what's stirring under the surface. So, and not committing necessarily to it yet. It's like the, the first beginnings. So the first milk, it's such a wonderful reflection time.
Right. Yeah, that's beautiful. Because winter is like the resting, and now it's like the little you've been in hibernation. Now it's like, okay, you're waking up a little bit. Time to get moving slowly, of course, but it's time.
Yeah, that's right. So Inez, I know that you brought something to share and read as well.
Yes, I have a couple books. One book is from a gift from my mom. She gave me a couple of them, but Celebrate the Earth by Laurie Cabot. She has like her own like coven. She's trained her like 2 daughters to be witches, like on the East Coast, which is
Very
pretty
cool.
But she has like a whole book on each of the sabbats, and I'll just read. It's like a full chapter, and she goes into like the relationship of the goddess, the crone, the goddess and the god, and that like kind of weird relationship. Like going back to the goddess and god. So the goddess at this point in Imbolc is giving birth to the sun, and then later it like the relationship changes, and we'll talk about that in our next episodes. But I'll save those paragraphs for another time. But just to get like an overview of what Imbolc is, even with the cold hands of February still upon our shoulders, the promise of spring is begun. Beneath the crisp, ice-encrusted soil, life is indeed starting anew. The tiny green leaves and white bell-shaped heads of strong and eager snowdrops emerge from between the rocks and snow. Certain species of birds return in anticipation of increasing light and warmth from the sun, and spring constellations can sometimes be seen in the night sky. On Imbolc, witches prepare grains to be planted at Beltane in May, which we have saved from the previous summer and autumn harvests. I often, the author, begin seedlings now that will green and color my garden in springtime. So as she mentioned before, like this is the time to start like your garden. And she gives some preparations, like what to wear. You often wear like bright rose, as Alex said, like green rose, or she says aqua too. Just like light, I would think light pastel colors, because it's not too saturated of a celebration. It's the beginnings. She has a whole like herbs as well. What you said, she even mentions like dried sage, lemon, honey, dried chamomile, which I think going to herbs and like using the resources that you have, I personally like to just decorate my altar with what's outside, so like snow water or the crystals that I have. But with foods and herbs, like use what's in season, but honestly not a lot of things are in season at this point. And so it's just using what you got. Like you don't have to go out of your way to like she says to make brid's oil, which is like 2 drams of almond oil or olive oil, 1 dram of sage oil, and 1 dram of dragon's blood crushed garnet. And I'm like, I'm not about to crush my garnets up in here, okay? Like,
Yeah, that's commitment.
right. So, but it's just using what you have and understanding like where you are and just like reflecting that.
I think that's a really important point to make. I think that sometimes it's easy to get really excited, and especially if you're newer to the craft or the practice, you want to go out there and buy all of the tools that you need and, make sure you have everything, and you just really go out of your way. But it's really not necessary. I mean,
Right.
if you have the resources, by all means, do that. If that stokes your fire, great. But
Right.
also know that it's not a necessity. And like Inez said, you can just gather some snow or some of the first flowers that have popped up, or even just like maybe some of the buds that are sprouting on the trees, if that's happening where you are.
Always
just,
ask first the plant.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. Don't steal.
But right.
Well, yeah.
It's like but the intention is like whether you go big or you do something really simple, it's all about just like acknowledging the turning of the wheel, acknowledging where we are at that moment.
Exactly.
When I was back in LA, our first Sabbat we celebrated together was Imbolc in person.
Yeah.
Right?
I know. I was actually looking at my Book of Shadows. I have a Book of Shadows that I've been working on virtually before I create like a physical copy, just so I could like plan out. And I was looking at the recipes that I have here, my recipe section, and I was just reminiscing about the baked feta that we made. That was
Oh my God.
good.
Oh my God, that was so good.
I think Inez and I like had our fill of dairy during that meal for like weeks.
Oh geez, yeah, I made like vichy soir, which is like French onion soup with heavy cream. She has the magical cream puffs. You remember I made? Those took so long, but that baked feta, oh my God.
So and just like to shout out a few more recipes if you are needing some inspiration. So for drinks, if you drink wine, you can make mulled wine. There's also decadent hot chocolate, which is really lovely. And for appetizers, we already shouted out our baked feta, which is actually really easy to make. So that's something that you just kind of put together and then you bake it and you have this amazing decadent creamy dish. Iceberg wedge salad with yogurt dressing. So yogurt, once again, symbolizing that first milk. Inez mentioned also, like the vichy soise, like potato leek soup is really popular as potatoes at this time are... Especially, you can't really find them, I feel like, in the U.S. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if you know where to get them, tell me, because I want to know. But new potatoes are, I think, in season right now, and they're specifically called new potatoes, and they're different. They're small, and they have a really specific taste, and oh my gosh, this like really takes me back to my childhood. One of my favorite like evening snacks or suppers is to boil the new potatoes with the skins on, and
where the nutrients is.
Yes. Make sure you scrub the skins a little bit, of course. And so you boil them till they're nice and soft, and you kind of maybe cut them open a little bit. Put some sea salt and fresh dill on top of that, like a nice amount of fresh dill. And you have like a little glass of kefir, which I don't know, those of you who might not have grown up with kefir, or in Polish kefir, how we call it, maybe. It's essentially like it's a yogurt drink.
Like a probiotic yogurt drink, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's not as thick as yogurt. It's like looser, and there's so many different brands out there. They have flavored kefir, but I think the original, just plain whole milk one, oh my God, it goes so well together. It doesn't sound that good, but oh my gosh, it's just...
Some warm potatoes sound really good. I would put like an ounce of butter in each one. Just like a big slice of butter.
Butter is, thank you for mentioning that. Butter's always welcome.
Oh, yeah. It's so good.
And so, I won't like mention all of the entrees and the sides because that can, vary. You can, if you're a vegetarian, you could do like a potato forward dish. If you eat fish, there's like beer battered fish and chips are popular. And then for the desserts, in my list, I have Imbolc butter cake. So that's a really popular one. Milk and honey rice pudding. We have baked custard. And lemon is also popular around this time, even though it's more of a summery thing. But there's a lot of lemon recipes out there. So like lemon poppy seed pound cake.
Oh my God. Speaking of desserts, though. So earlier last year, my mother-in-law, she found this honey cake at the farmer's market. And it was so good. Oh my God. It was just this little like loaf. But it has like 8 to 9 layers in it. And we recently, this past week for Valentine's Day, we made the honey cake. And it's like a little bit, we made a huge dinner plate up. It's like 9 layers. It was very involved. It took like at least 3 to 4 hours.
Wow.
But it was so good. So you make these like thin dough layers for the breading. And then you make this like whipped cream, sour cream, a little bit of lemon zests and sugar as the filling. And you leave it overnight. You stack it, spread it, stack, spread. Leave it in the fridge overnight, and like the bread like soaks up the filling. so it's nice and soft, but oh my god, it's so good. It's not too sweet. It's not like overpowering. It's honey cake, but it uses sugar too. But it's so good. Oh my god, it's my favorite.
That sounds delicious with like some nice like Earl Grey tea.
Oh yeah.
That.
Oh my gosh. So
Woo,
good.
you speaking my language now, girl. This is my favorite part of the episode.
Right, but that's what it's about. Like, there's traditions where like you go out and you pour a glass of milk because it's the milk holiday. It's to celebrate the mother.
That's right. And honestly, my favorite part of every Sabbat is doing the feast.
Right.
I love to cook, and so just I feel like ingesting all of these essences and flavors and herbs and spices that are related to this time. It's such a special way to really feel it internally and externally. You know, those of you who are passionate about food like me, we eat with all 5 of our senses, right? So it's just a really, I think, perfect way to celebrate if you don't want to do any of the rituals necessarily, but you want to make some, a great excuse to just make some dessert.
Right. I mean, you gotta eat. You gotta eat every day.
Right.
So it's like, might as well make it a holiday celebration.
For breakfast, you can have a nice piece of toast with maybe some honey butter. Whatever you like.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, the feast is the big part. I would like to. Can I show a little excerpt because of my fairy?
Yes.
My fairy side.
That's right. Yes, please do.
There is a section that this author has a little, just a paragraph about fairy magic during Imbolc.
It's from the same book.
Same book. So the art of scrying or looking into the future began with the ancient tribes observing the flight of birds. When the birds flew in a certain direction or formation in the sky, the Celts knew that winter would soon be arriving. The return of the birds foretold the coming of spring. During Imbolc season, the more birds you see and the more bird songs you hear means the better spring will be. Lark song in particular is a good sign of good luck and good weather. The wren is a magical bird that brings omens and sweet spells. These simple messages of the future are from the goddess and are as viable today as they were for the ancient Celts thousands of years ago. Bird feathers also bring auguries of what will or might be. Imbolc is usually a good time to find feathers on the ground. At Imbolc, I like to meditate on the meaning and messages of birds. Following is a bird meditation I find particularly helpful around this time of year. She doesn't mention fairy, but whenever I find like a feather on the ground, I'm always like, ooh, like a fairy or like an angel has a message. And the color of the feather, like the consistency of it or the quality of the feather, whether it's like has dirt or like it's all broken up or it's really pristine, has like its own little messages. And so as the birds are migrating, maybe not now but soon, they migrate back for the warmer months, and just to keep an eye out on the ground, be aware of your surroundings and look for those fairy gifts of feathers.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I love that way to think of something that might just be something that you might not notice otherwise, but it's just, once again, another lovely way to shift your intention and focus to this time of year and honor it. So, for those of you who want to immerse yourselves a little bit more and you like to do rituals and prayers around this time, I wanted to share a blessing for new projects, because this is the perfect time to start that new project that you've had on your mind. It's just the perfect time to start it. So and this specifically shouts out one of my favorite gods in the Hindu pantheon, especially Ganesha. So
Ganesha.
As Imbolc is a time for planning new projects, it is also a great time to ask for blessings for your new and renewed projects. The following prayer to the elephant-headed Hindu god Ganesha can help remove obstacles blocking the success of your projects in the coming warmer days. Ganesha is known as Lord of New Beginnings, which makes this a perfect prayer for Imbolc. Ganesha is a very approachable god and a powerful ally for any new project. That being said, Ganesha is also a god who will become offended if we ask for his help after having asked others before him. Ganesha wants to be the first god on your list, so offer this prayer before invoking your other deities, and if you use one, before casting a magic circle. Just be certain that Ganesha is the deity in your working, since he is also known as Lord of Obstacles. He can remove them, but he can also place them in your way. If you wish to make an offering, Ganesha is very fond of cakes made of grain. A rice cake or a corn muffin would make a good substitute. If you choose to use, offer a candle, use one that is pink or white. So we mentioned those colors. So I'm going to read the little blessing here. So, Great Lord Ganesha, I call upon you at this season of Imbolc and ask for your blessings and thank you for hearing my plea. Lord Ganesha, I ask your blessings on, insert your new project here, in the coming year. Please grant your favor and remove all obstacles that stand in the way of my success. I ask that you show me the path to success. I thank you for listening to my prayer. If you have used a candle or incense as your offering, it is best to allow it to burn completely all the way down. If you are doing other rituals, prayers, or meditations, allow the candle or incense to burn as a continuing blessing for all the other work that you do. And just a safety reminder, never leave your candles unattended, please, while they burn. If you can't stay nearby until the offering has burned out, allow it to burn as long as you safely can. And food offerings can be left outside to feed some of the earth's hungry animals who are also just beginning to emerge from winter's icy grip.
I know we've been putting out some bird seeds just out, and they eat it up. Once they got comfortable, they're like eating it up all across the ground. Like,
yeah.
Handfuls of bird seeds, just like sunflower seeds and whatnot.
You know what that reminds me of? I remember actually around winter time in second grade, we did a little project where we took pine cones. This is a great way to reuse things, by the way. We took pine cones and we covered them in peanut butter or almond butter, and then we rolled that in birdseed.
Right. Oh,
and then
yeah,
we would
that's
hang
good.
up the pine cones outside for the birds or the animals. You have to. I think we should look up if peanut butter or almond butter is safe for birds and other animals to eat. But
I would think almond butter would, because I mean they eat almonds. I want to do that.
They eat different nuts. Yeah, right? It's just like, especially if you have an abundance of pine cones outside that are just sitting on the ground.
Right. Oh,
Might
yeah.
as well.
I know. Yeah, and it's just like little simple things. So simple ways to celebrate Imbolc, right, is offerings for the birds or the animals outside, lighting a candle, cleaning an area beforehand, right? Starting your project. So that was beautiful. I love that you mentioned Lord Ganesh, because I have him hanging up, a tapestry of him hanging up in my room, so I was meditating on him.
Especially to show honor to our yoga lineage.
Right.
So. Yeah, Imbolc feels like the reminder that transformation doesn't need to be loud or major to be real.
I'm going to ask you, if you had one word to describe Imbolc, one or two words, what would it be?
I think the main one that always comes to me is just light.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other one that's just coming to me right now at this moment is transformation.
Transformation,
and like we said, the transformation, it doesn't have to be, I mean, we just mentioned it, but it doesn't have to be like, don't put pressure on yourself. Like, if you're feeling overwhelmed and depressed, maybe you just clean up like your desk. Maybe you just clean up one of your drawers.
Right.
You know, or just like a small part of something, but you just take maybe 10-15 minutes to organize a space that hasn't had any attention given upon it for a while. So, you know, that's enough. You are enough. Just remember
You are
that.
enough. Right.
So,
I would say like warm beginnings. Right.
yeah. Yeah. What about you? Yeah, warm beginnings are
Warm
yours.
beginnings, yeah. Hopefully warm. I'm freezing my butt off over here, but that's in my mind.
You gotta get you a little heating pad, a little space heater.
I know. No, Toes, my cat, he's been like sitting on me and like because he's all cold, and so he's been my warmer.
Poor baby, he's freezing.
Right. Oh my gosh.
And last thing I'll mention, because this is one of my personal favorite ways to celebrate Imbolc and actually to end the day, since we're coming close to finishing our little talk here today. One of the things that you can do that's really simple is you go throughout your entire house or apartment or home and turn on every single light in the house that you can, every source of light. If you want to include candles, you can too. Just make sure you're being safe. But you can just turn on all of the lights, all of the lamps, big lights, small lights, and take a few breaths and take a few moments to find that gratitude for the coming light. Set your intentions for the new year, all of the new things that you want to come your way. And then before you retire for the night, go to bed, you just, you know, turn them off. So
Oh, that's
just a
beautiful.
simple way.
It's like your whole house is lit. It's like
Yeah. So if you celebrated Imbolc, or you know, feel inspired to celebrate it for next year or whenever, or if something is just quietly stirring for you right now, you know, let us know. Let us know in the comments.
Yes, we love hearing what's in the belly for you.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us. At this roundtable, we'll be doing our next series for the Witches Roundtable will be for Beltane, right? That's what's coming up
Yes.
next. Which isn't until...
Ostara, not Beltane.
My mistake. Ostara.
Ostara. So that will be like March.
Which coincides with the Christian holiday of Easter.
Exactly. It's literally what it is. It's the origin.
And the Jewish holiday of Passover. So...
Yes.
All the same.
It's all the same. So
thank you so much for listening. Please support us. Please like and subscribe. Please leave your comments. If you have any ideas for us, suggestions, comments, we love it all.
if you want to educate us too, I'm open for that as well.
We love education, so please humble us, especially if we're getting stuff wrong.
Yes.
We have good intentions, though, so hopefully we haven't gotten anything majorly wrong.
Yeah, and don't compare yourself to anyone else's practice. Like, your practice is
right.
your practice.
Yeah, especially if you're like on social media and you start looking at all the witch talk stuff, which is really, really popular nowadays. Do not get attached to that. You can use it as inspiration if you like. We're not telling you what to do, but we are reminding you that at the end of the day, your own personal, what you bring to the table is the most important thing, and it doesn't have to be
Right.
like a big show. So
Right.
don't feel that pressure.
Yeah.
So yeah. So thank you so much once
Thank
again,
you.
and we'll see you at the next Witches Roundtable.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Blessed be.
Blessed be.